Future and Russell Wilson. We'll skip
Okay.
these other ones. These
Okay.
ones are
Okay.
kind of boring.
Mm.
Um, you mentioned how it's kind of sad that a world where we respect Future and disrespect, and we have no respect for Russell Wilson based on their archetypes and the way they move throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned how it's kind of a sad way of looking at how we're evolving, especially as men. And
Mm-hmm.
like, why do we? And I'm of the crowd that looks at Russell Wilson and like, if I could choose between being Future and Russell, I would love to be an NFL quarterback. That would be painful getting hit by 300-pound men.
Mm-hmm.
All Future got to do is talk into a mic. I do that already.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would I will be? And obviously with the given baggage, like I got kids everywhere, child support, Future. I mean, his Mother's Days is like essays where he got to write to all these different people, and Sierra being one of those people that just happened to get in line for some seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Russell is just this upstanding, hey, how are you, guy? This Carlton type archetype that we immediately just look at him like, bro, he kind of corny, and his peers look at him like, I respect him because of what he accomplishes. His competence garners respect, but in terms of the personality, nobody looks at him as like. Nobody looks at a Russell Wilson or a Kevin Hart and is threatened. Like, I'm not afraid of them. Like, you look at a Future and you kind of, rappers, you kind of standoffish because you don't know what they're capable of, obviously because of what they talk about, but the way they kind of move, it's a little bit more militant versus a Russell Wilson or a Kevin Hart. Like, you're not really afraid of them.
Yeah.
A lot of men look at them and like, if I could choose between the two, I would rather be Future because he garners what seems to be a level of respect from both men and women, that women are lining up to have his kid and men want to be him. Whereas Wilson, he's just kind of cleaned up the mess. And like, I don't care who you had a child by. I don't care about your former decision making. There's a whole talk of body count, and I'm against it personally. I don't really count your numbers with you. I'm just here to add +1, carry the one, and then move on about my day.
That is hilarious.
So it's different. But what are your thoughts on Russell Wilson in Future? Which one would you rather have if you had to be entered into that lucky lottery system?
A Russell Wilson.
Jesus Christ.
I would take Russell Wilson over Future any day because, like, just in terms of stability, like Future is very unstable.
Right.
He has a lot going on. The only person who's survived him pretty much is Lori Harvey, and she's not that stable either, if I'm being honest. And I don't want to have to be. I don't want to have, if I'm going to be in a relationship with someone, I want to be comfortable. Like, I don't want to be living in fear of having a child with you, and like in fear of like, you're about to play me and put me in a song. Like, I don't want that. I'd rather have a Russell Wilson who like seem, because we're just going based off what these people seem. Russell Wilson could be an awful person. We have literally no clue, but just based on how he kind of conducts himself, he seems to be a lot more grounded. He seems to be a lot more stable. And that is something that I resonate with a lot more. I know there's this like kind of, I don't know, trope or stereotype that women all like bad boys, but I just don't fall into it. Because I like stability. I like to be comfortable. I like what is boring, to be honest. The more boring a person is, the more likely I am to actually like you, because I'm like, okay, this is what I know to expect from this person. Like, you're even keeled, it's chill. Like, I like this. But the fast life, like, it just scares me. I can't do it.
Now, as much as I agree with your opinion, as far as what, God forbid, let's say I was a female and I was like, all right, it's time to find me somebody to find me a boo. So those are good traits to attach to as far as stability and grounding and self-awareness, all those type of things. When you look at, from your perspective, you look at the world of men, do you think most men relate to Russell Wilson or Future in terms of their everyday lives?
In terms of their everyday lives?
Like in terms of archetype, do you think more people can identify with Russell Wilson or a Future?
This is a good question. In terms
of personality.
Yeah. That's a really good question. I actually want to say that it's probably Russell Wilson, maybe. However, I think there's almost a it seems as though like how Future lives, like it's like, wow, he's just so irresponsible and he just gets away with it. Like it's almost like how you would see like a criminal, even though Future, I don't think he's a criminal, but like they just keep getting away with stuff. And it's like, man, like I wish I could just scam people and nothing would happen to me. Like my life would be so much easier. I have no responsibilities. I think there's that aspect of it where people are calling Russell like Wilson a square and like all this stuff, where it's like being, like I said, boring, there's that negative connotation attached
Right.
to it. And it's like, man, I wish I was exciting. Like he's getting girls and like all of this
Mm.
stuff. So while I feel like more people on a day-to-day basis act like Russell Wilson because they kind of have to in a way,
Yeah.
right? Because they're being held accountable by the people around them and by themselves as well. I think that people do sometimes want the freedom to be like Future for once. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That
And I
makes
think
perfect
that,
sense.
yeah, and I think that the issue is like, I want people to celebrate Russell Wilson in like that archetype. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I want people to
Yeah.
be like, you know what, this is respectable. Like, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And like,
Mm-hmm.
to a certain degree, while I'm like, you know, shouldn't celebrate the bare minimum, I'm also like, why can't we just put this on a pedestal for once? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
as opposed to like wanting to be like Future. Don't want that. Like, that's craziness. Like, I can't imagine, you know, existing in that way. And I don't think people should want to exist in that way. So that's one of the reasons why I made that video.
I feel you. And I think that's the disconnect between a lot of men's experiences and women's experiences is that most men start off with as the archetype of Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And we look at the futures of the world who are just
Mm-hmm.
popping out children. And I'm like, you're
Mm-hmm.
telling me that I have to be, and I think it's a lot of resentment, a lot of bitterness of
Mm-hmm.
men that identify with Russell. And I'm like, bro, we're the same person without the money. We're the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's 5'9", he's the average height of a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 6'2". I'm like, if I want to identify with somebody, it's somebody that has everything that I don't have. And
Mm-hmm.
so when a lot of men are looking at Russell Wilson and say, the only thing different between me and you is that NFL contract. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously all the competence that comes along with that and
Mm-hmm.
being able to lead a locker room and the competence of throwing the football and being accurate, all these things. But most men cannot, like, if Russell Wilson worked at UPS, would he get Sierra? I'm like, no, but he doesn't work at UPS, so therefore he gets Sierra.
Yeah.
But it's most men don't look at women with children. I'm like, bro, I get to one day raise another man's child. I know he didn't finish his video game, but I'm gonna go right behind him and just press continue and keep playing his video game, raising his child, spending all this money investing in someone else's legacy. And I don't think most men care that much about legacy. I think that's just a talking point. But you can kind of see the point of. I think most men would aspire in terms of their imagination. Like I think most women look at Beyonce and be like, well, if I can marry a billionaire and be this world, like control the world with my voice and have beautiful kids and be successful and have all these things, that's what the life I will want to have because they look at what they don't have currently.
Yeah.
Most men look at what they have currently and they're like, bro, I got everything that Russ got minus the money. I don't have women lining up to have sex with me and have my baby just nonstop. Most men just want quantity and quality comes in time. But most men, including myself, we start off with just, if I can just get one, if I can just get two, if I can just get three, and we have to work. We have to work. At 18 years old, a woman can sell her virginity. She can go to a different country and just, who wants it? And men line up around the corner.
Yeah.
An 18-year-old man walks up. I'm also a virgin. Anybody else? I just got done playing video games. Anybody want some of this? And dude, you got money? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, do you have a lot of followers or something? Like, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
And it's a different experience from both men and women. So I don't think that discrepancy is going to be fixed, at least in this generation.
No.
We will both love that the cornball, the nerd like myself who studies words and loves to be articulate and read and all these things. Like I have my dark side too. The dark side doesn't escape me. I have a lot of tendencies that kind of point towards the darker side. But in terms of just the way I carry myself, I don't fit into with the thug community. Like if I walk to the hood and like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, bro, are you selling something? Are you Jehovah's Witness? Like, I just don't fit.
Not
in
Jehovah's
that.
Witness.
Oh God, they're like, bro, you selling bean pies, bro? Like, get out of here, bro. I'm just different. So I think a lot of men can identify with Russell, and they don't like that they do because like if that's my future after making it through college and earning this huge contract, I get to raise someone else's kids. That's my future, and I'm not Russell. And I'm not this multimillionaire who has this, this respect of other NFL players. That's what I have to look forward to. And a lot of men will never get there. Most men will never get there. So they look at Russell or a future who's may or may not have sold drugs or done illegal things. I'm like, anybody can do illegal stuff. Anyone can take the shortcuts and just slang drugs and speak poetry. I mean, I don't have any ability to freestyle, what have you, but you can kind of see the point how most people look at Future's path and like, I can do that. I'm not going to do it because I identify more with the softer side of manhood or what have you. So It's unfortunate. It's
It
unfortunate.
is. It is unfortunate. It's and I see exactly what you're saying because like especially when you're younger, you're not as mature, you're looking for quantity, you're not really
Hmm.
putting quality on the pedestal that it needs to be on.
Hmm.
And so like looking at Future, he has all the quantity.
Yeah.
Quality, who knows? I don't know any of his who knows how
Crumbs.
yeah, but like you're just thinking I just want that.
Yeah.
And that is I can see how the resentment would build from being a
Hmm.
Russell because you're not going to be attracting all the women because like to be fair, especially when you're younger, like women don't look for quality either.
Yeah.
If we're being
Yeah.
honest, they're looking for what is the flashiest, who's
Facts.
getting the most girls, like,
Hmm.
and it's sad. And so it's like, I think that's why sometimes I try to be as much of a voice of reason as I can be, even though I know it's probably not going to change that many people's minds. But it's like, at least if there's got to be a couple, you know what I'm saying? There's got
Yeah.
to be a few of us out there who are trying to, like, just explain that it's okay to not get as many girls as the other guy. It's okay because the girls you are going to get, they're going to be better. Like
Yeah.
they're going to be more understanding and they're going to actually respect and celebrate you for how you've been for your whole life.